How will it be? Do you have the courage? Did Jia Ao see Xia Ohan in a challenging manner? Yes, he will not dare to do this at all. That's right, he is just hiding behind women and his family. I guarantee that he is not a real man. Facing the challenge of Jia Ao, the superiors around Jia Ao showed Xia Ohan down and set him on fire. In this way, Xia Ohan will not accept the challenge. Okay, because you want to be beaten, then I will fulfill your wish. Jia Ao said carelessly, just once. I hope that my one time will teach you a lesson. What? Just one move? Jia Ao got angry. It was true that he was a romantic young man who enjoyed the comforts of women. However, his first star was proven by the ability of a region. Still, this young man, Xia Ohan, how dare he say such arrogant things or claiming that he can defeat him in one move? Hey naughty, you will have to pay the price for your arrogance. Jia Ao's main purpose was only to defeat Xia Ohan, but seeing Xia Ohan's arrogance, Jia Ao decided that he would have to make Xia Ohan vomit blood. Terrible Tiger Fist. Jia Ao moved forward like the wind. His two-part cover fist was roaring like a terrible tiger. Chaknacher's stone palm. Xia Ohan moved away from the storm and skillfully choked Jia Ao's fist. At the same time, a strong gust of wind hit the chest of the opponent. Collision. Collision. Jia Ao still had a cold, evil smile on his face. Xia Ohan pushed him back, causing him to bump into a stall. Yuvaswamy, he actually lost. And he lost to a 15-year-old kid. Does Yuvaswamy not have the first star dose region? How can he lose to that kid who has not yet obtained dose proof? It was so quiet there that you could even hear the sound of the pin. People could not even imagine that a small boy had beaten Jia Ao, who was tall and powerful, so much that his mouth was bleeding. Why are you still standing there? Pick me up quickly. Jia Ao shouted at his companions and said, He said, Xia Ohan, you just wait for me, and with the help of his hand, you will be able to teach him a lesson. Xia Ohan, you must have at least 5-star dose. Shetra, Haina, Bagel, Zio Jr. was a little surprised. He had a slight smile on his face when he saw Zio Ohan. Little girl, are you not using my hand to teach him a lesson? Zio Ohan raised his hand and pointed a slight finger at Zio Jr.'s forehead, as if he was punishing Zio Jr. Zio Jr. rubbed his forehead in pain and looked at Zio Ohan. My shop. The jewelry sold by me. What have I done wrong? Just then, Xia Ohan and Xia Ohan saw that due to the fight between Xia Ohan and Jia Ao had dropped an old grandma's jewelry. Zio Jr. did not dare to stop him. Zio Ohan. Xia Ohan was surprised to see Xia Ohan. Xia Ohan went to the shop and looked around. The jewelry sold by the old grandma was all ordinary. The price of the entire shop was probably as much as 100 gold coins. It was all a small business. Xia Ohan picked up a jewelry knife from the green blanket. He took out 100 gold coins and threw it at the old grandma and said, This is your compensation. Xia Ohan, this is for you. For me, Zio Jr. looked at Zio Ohan with some surprise. Yes, or the bangles are bothering you a lot. As soon as Zio Ohan said, without waiting for Zio Jr. to refuse, he held his soft hand and put the bangles on his right wrist. Or it was too soon. Zio Jr. wanted to refuse, but Zio Ohan had already put the bangles on his hand. Looking at the pattern of the green jewelry and the green lotus on it, the fragrance of its green lotus was really very similar. Xia Ohan, did you go to play? You also bought a bracelet. Wow, your choice is good. This bracelet is very beautiful. Xia Ohan, did you go out to play again? Xia Ohan, you have worn very beautiful clothes. Who are you going to play with today? Xia Ohan, people's hearts are not the same as before. If you go out with others, be careful. If a man calls a woman out for a walk, it means that he has interest in her. His ultimate goal is always this. Oh, Xia Ohan, you have come back. I am free tomorrow. Let's go for a walk. Xia Ohan, I am tired of playing for the past few days. I want to rest at home tomorrow. It's been a long time, Xia Ohan. Good night. Oh, Xia Ohan's face became stiff. He looked at the door of the courtyard with empty eyes. He raised his right hand as if he wanted to knock on the door. But in the end, he fell down being weak. His fists were tight and his eyes were full of anger. After a long time, he slowly said a name through his tongue, Shia Ohan. Master, the period of 3 months is over. Now you can use the system. The next step is to take rebirth in other worlds. After playing with Shia Ohan all day, Shia Ohan was just lying on his bed that the system Shia Ohan suddenly reminded him. Has it really been 3 months? Shia Ohan thought to himself that how fast time has passed. When Shia Ohan was in solitude, then Shia Ohan used to meet Shia Ohan every day. He did not even know, and 3 months passed while he was here. Yes, you have been living in the world for 3 months. The system has been fully charged and can be transferred to other worlds. Is it? Where will be the next world? Master, Shia Ohan cannot predict it. The first rebirth in the other world will be temporary. Suddenly, after 3 months, Shia Ohan slowly got lost in this world. When he thought of going soon, then Shia Ohan suddenly got a little hesitation and he asked, Shia Ohan, can we come back? Of course. As long as Guruji will be in the next world for 3 months, the system will be fully charged. If Guruji wants, you can return to the other world immediately, or you can continue to go to the next world in the same way. You mean after going from here, if I want, I can come back here 100%? Shia Ohan's face was surprised. Yes, Guruji. Guruji, whichever world I have gone to, on the condition of fulfilling the conditions of Guruji's wish and the conditions of rebirth, you can definitely return to the world where Guruji has reached. System Shia Ohan explained. Shia Ohan understood. He was like a guide. The paths decided by him remained unknown, and he could return at any time. Where will the path ahead be taken, or was it unknown? Guruji, do you want to use rebirth? Start going to the divine power and the other world. System Shia Ohan saw Shia Ohan's silence and could not stay without asking him. Not now, Shia Ohan was not in the future, but he was lost in thought. Now he had a deep enmity against Shia Ohan in his mind. He had not yet given enough to Shia Ohan. If Shia Ohan had been given time, would he be able to suppress him in the future? Or was it such a question that could not be ignored? Before leaving, Shia Ohan felt that he would have to sleep at night. Shia Ohan was lying on the bed and was arranging the information in his mind. According to the story of Dawson, a year later, when Shia Ohan will complete his age story, he will move towards the monster mountain range. At that time, Shia Ohan will meet Yunji. Oh, this is Union, the chief of the Yunlin tribe. A year later, Shia Ohan and Union will experience a romantic Avarnani in a cave. Shia Ohan did not know what Yunji looks like, and he did not know whether she would be of his choice or not. However, since he was tied to Ajay Vinashak Raja Pranali, so Shia Ohan could not let this happen at any cost. To get the least amount of power, he had to stop this important incident from the beginning. And there is also a little fairy doctor. Who was the name in Shia Ohan's mind? A year later, during Zia Ohan's journey to the monster mountain range, apart from meeting the guru of the tribe, he also met the chief of the tribe. Union of the Yunlin tribe, who was using Yunji's nickname, also met the little fairy doctor, who had your Vishwarrior. Not only that, during his training, Zia Ohan later acquired several good techniques as well. Right now 2 techniques are my weakness. Whatever happens, I will have to travel the monster mountain range from the beginning. The next day, Shia Ohan reached the courtyard of the monster mountain range. Shia Ohan said, "You are here." As soon as Shia Ohan came to the courtyard, Shia Ohan, who was meditating, raised his face a little. After staying together for a few days, Zia Ohan found that Zia Ohan was not only generous and kind, but also determined and compassionate. Zia Ohan said, "Where are you taking me to play this time? I was planning to rest today. Since you are here, let's go." Shia Ohan himself did not realize this, but he rejected Shia Ohan last night, and today he was going to kill with Shia Ohan. If Shia Ohan found out, she would think what thoughts would come in his mind. Shia Ohan said, "This time Shia Ohan has come to say goodbye to you." Shia Ohan is going on a short journey. Seeing Shia Ohan so happy, he lost his courage and told him the truth. A journey, Zia Ohan's smile became a little harsh, and there was a little indifference between Zia Ohan said, "Where are you going?" Vishalkaya Mountain Range. Monster Mountain Range. Zia Ohen looked at Zia Ohen surprisingly and then said, Zia Ohen, you are already in 2 areas above Pansatara. Do you still need to go to the Monster Mountain Range? Yes, Zia Ohen shook his head. Looking towards Zia Ohen, he said, this is Btth Mahadweep, where there are a lot of specialists. Maybe someone in the average age group is my opponent. But if I talk about the middle ground, then my friend, how can I protect those people whom I want to protect? Who is that person who Shia Ohen wants to, or who can it be? Is it me? This thought came to Shia Ohan's mind. Thinking that she will not be able to see Shia Ohan for a long time, Shia Ohan's sparkling eyes became a little red, as if something was missing. She stopped and said, Shia Ohan's Monster Mountain Range is very dangerous. Actually, you don't have to do all this here. Just stay with me. I have complete faith that I will make you a great expert. One of the ancient 8 schools of Shia Ohen used to come from Gokul, which was a great power of Btth Mahadweep. Shia Ohen had no doubt about Shia Ohen's such ability. Daram. Shia Ohen pointed at Shia Ohen's forehead, which caused Shia Ohen to rub her forehead with a she said, Shia Ohen, who is dependent on a man-woman, he is not a real man. And if I am dependent on your abilities, then no matter how skilled I become, your people will consider me inferior. Just wait, it can happen in a month or 6 months. At least, he will return before Shia Ohen's festival. As soon as Shia Ohen spoke, he was blinded by Shia Ohen's eyes. Going away, looking at his back, Shia Ohen actually wanted to say that she would go out with Shia Ohen for training, but then Shia Ohen's monster came to his mind, and finally he did not utter a word. Ling Wying, follow him quietly. If anything happens to Shia Ohen's brother, then I will hold you responsible. The sky was blue, the wind was blowing fast from the west, and they were flying towards the south of the jungle. A small boy was riding a yellow horse, slapping him, blowing dust, traveling alone on the official road. The boy was only 15 or 16 years old. He had not yet matured in appearance. While traveling alone, the travelers often used to see him, perhaps thinking that which rebellious child has run away from home. Shia Ohen was used to these eyes. During the journey, the thing that made him feel a little helpless was that many people stopped him, really wanted to send him back thinking that he was a runaway rich child. However, these people were powerful and brave. Shia Ohen escaped from them cleverly. While traveling towards the east, Shia Ohen suddenly had to face a serious problem. He had lost his way. According to his memory, the town where the little fairy doctor used to live was called Kingshan Kasbah. This was also the destination of his journey. There were many statues on the way. This was Btth Mahadweep, where the dacoits used to roam, completely different from China on Earth. There were very few travelers on the official road, mostly traders. He did not meet more than 5 or 6 traders a day. Oh, good wishes to you. It seems that there are people ahead. When Shia Ohen lost his way, he saw a car ahead. Among the crowd, as if swords were shining. Fight, Shia Ohen's face became tense. He got down from the horse, took him to the bushes on the side of the official road, jumped a little, hid in the bushes on the trunk of a big tree, and started watching the fight on the official road. There was a caravan of 200 people on the ground in front of him. The caravan immediately made a shield from their vehicles, from which a protective shield was prepared. Such a weak defense system was not sufficient to face the attack of the other group. These are the Black Wolf Gang. Shia Ohen said with a little hesitation. Black Wolf Gang was more than 50 km away from here. Why would they sit although Shia Ohen had never left Bhutan City? But as the 3rd grandson of the Xiao family and the representative of the Xiao family and basically, the Black Wolf Gang was not a part of their usual rituals. But since the Black Wolf Gang was a force around Bhutan City, the Xiao family was getting some information about them. The head of the Black Wolf Gang, Black Wolf, was of the level of 4-star dose. In addition to that, there were 2 other politicians, the 2nd politician and the 3rd politician. Their power was a little less than the Black Wolf, usually of the level of 3-star dose and 2-star dose. In the eyes of the Xiao family, they were unselfishly an insignificant small force. But for the Kumantu traders, they were like a bad dream in their hearts. Why is the Black Wolf Gang here? Shia Ohen had many questions in his mind. The battle at the bottom, when the Black Wolf Gang broke the security encirclement made by the cars, was almost one-sided. In front of the bloodthirsty and war-loving Black Wolf Gang, although the caravan below had hired heavy soldiers for security, they were only able to resist the attack of the Black Wolf Gang a little, so that the caravan's end was only for a short time. Chin Zilong, give me 2 lakh gold coins and cold Jwalawali ginseng, and I will spare your life. There was a person in the Black Wolf Gang whose back was broad and his body was yellow, and his skin was black. The most important thing was that he had a mark on his face. The mark on his face looked like a date palm, which was further increasing. Ziohan knew that this person was the head of the Black Wolf Gang, Black Wolf. Chin Zilong, Ziohan thought for a moment, but there was no information about this person in his mind. Maybe he was just a small-time politician. By the time Ziohan reached there, the war had reached its end. 300 to 400 members of the Black Wolf Gang surrounded the caravan, which reduced their number to only 70-80. In addition to this, the 70-80 people who could stand were more injured than the situation was not favorable for the leader of the Black Wolf Gang. Since you know that I am Chin Zilong of Umengao, then you should also have knowledge of my meditation. I will not give you cold Jwalawali. You will have to pay a heavy price for a middle-aged man came out of the crowd. His eyes were stiff, but there was no power in his voice. He clearly had severe internal injuries. Huff. After the words of a middle-aged man, he threw his sword into the ground. His clothes began to flutter, due to which his doze area was completely exposed. 4-star does, members of the Black Wolf Gang were shocked. At the same time, the surrounded people fully exercised their does. Each of them was ready to fight to the death with the feeling of war. 3-star does. There are only 2 3-star does here. The members of the Black Wolf Gang became a little restless. Seeing the feeling of war rising from their hearts, the members of the Black seeing this, Chen Zilong became very happy and said, Black Wolf Gang, you only want money and wealth. If you let us go, then I am ready to give you 1,000 gold coins. Otherwise, the disciples of my Chen family will not be afraid of blood and sacrifice. Absolutely right, we will never be afraid of bloodshed and sacrifice. With the words of Chen Zilong, the morale of the entire gang increased completely. Hey, are you full of the feeling of war? Isn't it? 1,000 gold coins do not seem, but is the price of the lives of all the disciples of your Chen family only 1,000 gold coins. Facing Chen Zilong's words, no emotion changed on the face of the disciples. The head of this family in Umengao, Haley, had already told me. Otherwise, I would not have been able to see your safety so soon. Haley? Or was it really Haley? Chen Zilong realized that he could no longer show off, and his anger caused those wounds inside him. He coughed many times. Seeing this, Black Wolf's face was filled with victory. He shouted loudly and said, Enough nonsense, Chen Zilong, give me 1,000 gold coins and pay me 2 lakh gold coins. I will let you go. We dacoits only look for money, not life. But if you insist, I have no objection, father. A woman standing next to Chen Zilong was looking very beautiful. That woman's beauty was not as beautiful as Chen Zilong's. But still she was very pure and lovely. I will never give up. The worst thing would be that we all die together. Chen Zilong looked at the woman, his eyes were full of determination, and he whispered, Xiangxiang, father may not be able to live with you anymore. We will find a way later. You run away with the cold ginseng. Father, Xiangxiang, listen to me, Chen Zilong said seriously, otherwise our Chen family will be destroyed or Chen Xiangxiang was in trouble. He had held a silver box in his, he prayed with all his heart. Oh God, if someone saves me now, then I am ready to marry him, whether he is rich or poor. Undoubtedly, Chen Xiangxiang also knew that this was a little unrealistic, but being a woman, she could not this kind of thing. She imagined that the old stories were true, that as long as she would pray, a white warrior would come to save her. This was a foreign world, and there were very few travelers on this rightful road. Chen Xiangxiang knew that this was just an imagination. It seems I said a little too much. Everyone attack. Destroy them. Kill the men and take the women back and sell them. Hit, hit, hit. On the order of the Black Wolf Gang, the members of the Black Wolf Gang gradually strengthened the encirclement. Chen family disciples follow the order of the Black Wolf Gang. Guardian. Help Chen Xiangxiang and other disciples of the Chen family to escape. They are the only hope of our Chen family. With them, our Chen family will not be destroyed in Guardian. Below, both were full of strong desire for war. The war was about to begin. In Nurmam and Sankhya, in front of the Black Wolf Gang, the complete destruction of they was just a matter of time. Okay, because I have to face this problem, so this time I will save you all. Ziohan jumped. This sudden act attracted the attention of the Black Wolf Gang and the entire caravan. I don't want to die. All of you from the Black Wolf Gang, please spare my life. The Black Wolf was very alert at the sudden appearance when he saw that there was a young man. There was fire in his eyes. Ha ha ha, I was very scared. Oh. Ha ha ha. The members of the Black Wolf Gang also laughed loudly as if they had heard the most interesting joke in the Hey Stupid Boy. Didn't your elders tell you that it is fun to show off all the time? But in the end, your reputation will be ruined. How did you dare to interfere in the affairs of our Black Wolf Gang? You are inviting death. The Black Wolf saw a person standing next to him and ordered, "Third brother, go kill him." Kill him, got it. On the other side, the entire caravan was standing still, especially the young man who had an empty face. Oh God, did you hear my prayer? But he seems young. The third leader who received the order showed off his strength and waved his wife's toothed mace twice and said in a contemptuous tone, "Little one, it is your good fortune to don't worry. I attack quickly. You will not have any pain. Remember in the next birth, don't show off in front of those you cannot take the risk of harming." Vush, the third leader seemed very arrogant. Without using any technique, he raised his wife's toothed mace in the air with the sky and the earth and hit it hard towards Ah. Chang Xiangxiang screamed, covered her face, and was towards Ziohan's sad fate. The third leader had a level of 2 stars, 2 stars. If an ordinary person was hurt, his head would burst like a watermelon. But unfortunately, he did not meet an ordinary person. Chaknacher took the stone in his hand. Ziohan shook his head a little. The third leader, who flew in the air, did not leave any way to Ziohan. Ziohan shook his body a little and saved himself from the attack of the enemy. It is a shame. The third leader said with anger, but it was too late by then. A very fast wind hit his body. Collision. The third leader flew. The third leader's body stopped after landing twice on the third leader. Many members of the Black Wolf Gang fell on the third leader and did not look up and ran to help him. One person stopped his breath and said, "Ziohan, the third leader is dead." What? The Black Wolf was very angry. If his eyes could eat humans, he cut Ziohan into 1,000 pieces by silence. The field was completely quiet. Everyone's eyes were fixed on Ziohan. Who would have thought that a young man would display such powerful fighting skills in one look and kill the third leader with a single blow after his hard struggle? I never thought that you would become doze at such but you killed my third brother. So even if I die today, I will have to take revenge for 3 times. From the last incident, Black Wolf gave up his hatred, for he repeatedly fired his sword 3 times, forcing Ziohan to move back again, and haha, that was end of gang. The third leader died, and you can still laugh. But this child is definitely dead. What is the future of this child, who is at such a young age in doze? The people Black Wolf Gang were already excited about the identity of Ziohan, but Ziohan Black Wolf Gang's Ziohan. Just a yellow rank, medium 2 techniques, disappointment battle. Ziohan attacked with his hand, with which Black Wolf Gang's leader was 3 steps behind. He was the corner of his mouth. Actually, he wanted to kill him, but he Black Wolf anymore. He dropped his weapon and kneeled in front of Ziohan, who is not afraid if he pleaded, "Please don't kill me." Ziohan looked at Black Wolf with disgusted eyes and said sadly, "Are you not taking revenge? Revenge? What revenge? He is not my real brother. Why should I take his revenge?" Black Wolf ended his words and pleaded, "Don't kill me." Until you kill me, I am take my men. We will not give you any revenge. We will not give you any revenge. We will give you revenge. Will you revenge? We will not you any revenge. We will not give you any revenge. We will not I am the chief of this village. You have to pass through our Yumming village to go to Kingshan village. Our Yumming village is the closest village to Kingshan village. There are still many turns ahead, so why don't you travel with us to save younger brother from getting lost again? Or, Ziohen hesitated a little. He looked down at the person of half age. The level of worship of that person of half age was not less. He was in the Wadudik region. However, there was a lack of enthusiasm in his speech, and his body was clearly small. Keeping in mind the lesson learned from the last incident, Ziohen was naturally careful with the caravan. Younger brother, you saved our lives. Please come with us. When we return to Yumming village, then we will be able to express our gratitude to you for saving our lives. The person of half age again invited Ziohen. Absolutely right. At this moment, the young man standing next to the person of half age also said, "You have saved our lives, so come with us. Anyway, to reach Kingshan village, you will have to pass through our Yumming village. Just let my father pay your debt properly." Ziohen looked at that woman. When the black wolf attacked him with a knife first, this woman also warned Ziohen. His first impression of Ziohen was good. In addition to this, the situation was the same as the person of half age had said. If he had traveled alone, there was a very high possibility immediately. Ziohen shook his head and said, Okay. Since you have invited me so warmly, then I will gladly accept. Yumming village is a small village in Kingshan village, which is located in the mountains. At the entrance of the village, there is a forest of stones filled with strange rocks. Each stone pillar has a different shape. Some look like ringed rabbits on the ground. Some look like wings spread. There are also some who look like bowed elephants to drink water. Hundreds of people were sitting on these huge rocks. It was clear from the weapons in their hands that they were not kind people. Is the young man more alert than the need of the whole family? We have given information to many robbers on the side of the road. We have told the facts in detail. Until there is no extraordinary power in Qin Zilong, our Yumming village should not even think about returning. Since this is my father's order, we will have to fulfill it. To be honest, I also think that my father is a little more alert. Black Wolf Gang has also received information about so many thieves. Qin Zilong is also badly injured. There is no hope of his return alive. What happened to Xiangxiang? She is so beautiful. A beautiful young man in jacuzzi clothes was lying on a large stone lazily. He had a thorn in his mouth. Absolutely. Oh, young lord, look quickly. What is this? The young man followed the eyes of the family. There was a disciple standing next to him. Suddenly, a small group of people came into his sight. The young man raised his hands and ordered his subordinates to turn away. He looked at one person and said in a low voice, "Xiangxiang, you have come back." Seeing the new members, the faces of the head of the Qin family and the face of Qin Zilong immediately dimmed. Qin Zilong answered angrily. "Hedong, how dare you stand here? What are you doing? Are you planning to kill us all here?" Hedong laughed and said, "Yes, Xiangxiang, you are kidding. My fiancé is back. How can I not come out to welcome her?" "Fiancé?" Qin Zilong's delicate arms shrugged and he turned around and asked, "Who is your fiancé? Xiangxiang, apart from you, do you think there is anyone else here whom I, Hedong, like?" Hedong asked in a mischievous way in response. "Don't talk nonsense. I never said that I will marry you. This is not in your hands." Hedong looked at the head of the Qin family and said, "Uncle Qin, our families are absolutely suitable for each other. If you are ready to marry your daughter to me, then you can enter from what will happen if I do not agree. If you do not agree, then don't even think about going inside alive." Hedong shook his hand, and immediately dozens of people came out of him. These dozens of people were standing with drawn swords and bows, and they had completely surrounded a group of soldiers on duty. The head of the Qin family laughed and said, "Hedong, do you think you can stop us only on the strength of these people?" "Absolutely." Hedong said to the soldiers standing behind the head of the Qin family, My father is the only one, and he has just succeeded in 5-star dose. 5-star dose. The remaining soldiers of the army were looking very surprised. There was no one from the 5-star dose area who could compete with the soldiers of the half-star army. Hedong saw their fear and happiness and said, "Everyone has safely taken them to Yumengao. The mission is complete. Now there is no need to get into this mess." Facing the moves of Hedong, the Qin tribe pointed towards Hedong and shouted, "You, Commander Yanshi." The head of the Qin family tried to explain to him first, but then a soldier of the army present with him immediately said, "The head of the Qin family has decided to take you only to Yumengao. He did not intend to take you to your home. Therefore, the mission of our army should be considered complete. We fought a fierce battle on the way. 2 brothers were martyred and 7 were injured. We hope you will understand us." Yeah, the head of the Qin family was trying to explain to him, but a large group of merchants immediately split into 2 groups. Only the Qin tribe and Chen Ziangxiang, along with some remaining soldiers, remained to face Hedong. Hedong shouted, "Uncle Qin, if you agree to our marriage and complete it tonight, then I can let you all go home." "Will you marry tonight?" Chen Ziangxiang said in a challenging tone, "I would rather marry a dog than marry you. All this happened because of your father. I have not forgotten that it was your father who seriously injured my father. This trouble has come to my Qin family because of your He family. I would rather die than marry you." Hedong's eyes became sharp and his facial expressions changed. "If you do not marry me, then do not even think about staying alive. If you die, then no one in your Qin family will survive. Father." Chen Ziangxiang was a little surprised and started looking at the head of the in his haste. He did not pay attention to this important point. What kind of person was Hedong? He was the same enemy who had injured his father. If Hedong's father had not been there, the head of the Qin family would not have been injured. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family if the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. Would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. Would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family, if the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. If the head of the Qin family had not been injured, then the whole Qin family would have gone to buy medicines. When the head of the Qin family said, "Little brother, thank you very much for your this was just a small help," Ziohen saw that his war power was in shock, and the head of the Qin family had a flash of worry in his eyes, which made him think. He had killed the head of the Qin family in the spirit of revenge. This family will not leave the Qin family at any cost tonight. The head of the Qin family was thinking about this. After a while, Ziohen asked, "Chief Qin, what happened?" Ziohen found out the whole story from the statement of the head of the Qin. It was found that 6 months ago, the Qin family was the most powerful family in the human village. The head of the Qin family had also reached the level of 4 stars dose. Area. A 4-star dose, which may not be worth mentioning outside, but it had a lot of importance in this small village. The Qin family was the most powerful family in the human village, and no one dared to harm them. 5 months ago, the Qin family suddenly settled in the village. The humble family organized a feast for the main families of the human, however. This was not an ordinary feast, but a powerful invitation. During the feast, the Qin family secretly gave medicine to the guests, which made all the people present unable to use their full war power. Unfortunately, at that time, the head of the Qin family did not realize that they had been poisoned. Taking advantage of the opportunity of the martial arts competition, the head of the Qin family severely injured the head of the Qin family, and thus removed the head of the Qin family from the position of the head of the Qin family in the human village. 3 months ago, the head of the Qin family consulted with several famous doctors and finally obtained a medicine pill for treatment. However, Rasin Shastri asked the head of the Qin family for the cold-burning ginseng in return for that pill. Coincidentally, the Qin family was informed that there was going to be an auction of cold-burning ginseng in Taishan City. At that time, the head of the Qin family traveled thousands of miles to Taishan City to obtain the cold-burning ginseng. After that, whatever happened, it was not difficult to imagine. Fearing that the head of the Qin family would regain his former spiritual power and take revenge on the He family, the He family gave the bandits the information about the location of the head of the Qin family on the way. They also made a false claim that there is a lot of money in the village. However, the He family was worried that the Qin family might be miraculously saved from the attacks of so many bandits. For this reason, the young head of the He family forcibly closed the village entrance to keep the marriage proposal. The head of the Qin family's worries were natural. He Dong had died, but the most dangerous He Li was still alive. Even if he gets the holy medicine, the head of the Qin family would still need time to recover. It was possible to imagine that if He Li suddenly attacked during this time, then this would undoubtedly be a devastating shock for the Qin. The situation got worse because Ziohen had just killed He Li's only son. Undoubtedly, this was helping the Qin family to get out of the difficult situation. But if Ziohen left, then tonight would be the last night of the Qin. Ziohen naturally understood the worries of the head of the Qin family and calmly said, "Do not worry, Chief, I still have time. If he does not come, then no problem. If he dares to come, then I will help you solve all your problems." The head of the Qin family bowed down in front of Ziohen and expressed deep gratitude and said, "Thank you very much, younger brother." In the presence of Ziohen, the head of the Qin family knew that their Qin tribe would definitely be saved from this crisis. "Can I ask the name of the younger brother?" The head of the Qin family asked without hesitation. This was just a small help, no need for thanks. Ziohen stopped. He did not have any enmity with the head of the Qin family, so he took out a bottle full of red liquid. He threw the bottle towards the head of the Qin family and said, "Drink it. This will heal your wounds." The head of the Chin family held the bottle in his hand and looked at it with doubtful eyes. The bottle was made of glass, and the light of the transparent liquid in it was emitting a dim red light. Can such a liquid substance only heal his internal injuries from a bottle? The head of the Chin family had some doubts. However, Ziohan was their supporter, so despite being in doubt, he could not fool Ziohan with words. He opened the lid of the bottle with hesitation and carefully tasted the liquid. Oh my God! The head of the Chin family's eyes were surprised. He looked at the liquid in the bottle with disbelief. Just a little liquid was giving warmth to his internal organs like the head of the Chin family was feeling that his internal injuries had miraculously improved a little. Seeing that the liquid substance was working, the head of the Chin family drank it all at once. It is a shame that despite being the head of the Chin family could not live without saying bad words. How is this? Ziohan asked. The thing given to the head of the Chin family was nothing special, but it was a medicine commonly used in games that exudes vitality, which is usually known as the red medicine. At present, only red and blue medicines in the system's rank 1 mall were able to attract Ziohan's attention. However, red and blue portions were also only of rank 1. My wounds were half healed in a moment. The head of the Chin family saw Ziohan in amazement. This small bottle of medicine was 100 times more powerful than life-restoring powder, blood accumulation powder, or medicine bullets. Take this. Ziohan took out 3 more bottles of red medicine from the system's space and threw them towards the head of the Chin family. The head of the Chin family took red medicine from Ziohan. They opened the lid and drank it all without any hesitation. The head of the family, how is it going? All the members of the Chin family started looking towards the head of the Chin family with concern. My wounds have completely healed. Following the head of the Chin family, Ziohan soon reached the residence of the Chin family in Yumeng village. As the great guard of the Chin dynasty, the head of the Chin family made the most exquisite room for Ziohan. After a long journey, when Ziohan entered the room and was about to take off his clothes and sleep, she knocked on the door. Waiter, are you sleeping? Not yet. Ziohan got up and opened the door, so she saw that the Chin women were wearing black clothes. Her hair was wet as if she had just taken a bath. Vush. A breath of cold air came and Ziohan opened the door. The door was closed, so Ziohan opened the door. I felt a slight fragrance. Chen Xiangxiang did not dare to look directly at Ziohan. His cheeks turned a little red and he lowered his head. Hey servant, won't you call me in to sit? Okay, then come in and sit. Ziohan sat at the table for tea. He poured a cup of tea for himself and then poured a cup of tea for Chen Xiangxiang. Chen Xiangxiang remained silent for a while. Ziohan was also silent. The atmosphere was a little strange. In the end, Ziohan asked silently, Xiangxiang, do you want to talk to me? Have you come to meet me so late at night? Chen Xiangxiang looked at Ziohan, looked into his eyes, but in the end, he bowed his head in shame and said, Hey servant, thank you very much for saving my life today. If you hadn't been there, I'm afraid I would have had to compromise and marry that beast, Hedong. It was nothing, just a small attempt. Ziohan said bluntly, Today you should not come just to thank me. You can talk openly, I still have some time. As long as I can help and am not against Shishida's principles, I can help your family. But the servant, Chen Xiangxiang, hesitated for a moment. He looked at Ziohan, but did not dare to look into his eyes. He stopped, then he stood with his teeth grinded and opened the buttons of his black clothes. Ziohan was speechless. Under Chen Xiangxiang's black clothes, he had only worn almost transparent, thin undergarments. Even without using spiritual power, Chen Xiangxiang, standing in front of Ziohan, seemed as if he had not worn anything. Chen Xiangxiang's face was ordinary, but in the dark light, his spiritual display was unbelievably effective. Ziohan stood in amazement. Xiangxiang, what are you doing? Chen Xiangxiang did not dare to look into Ziohan's eyes and said in shame, Hey Lord, my father's wounds have just healed. Looking at Heli's cruel nature, he will not leave him easily. In addition, it seems that this family has the support of the Wolfhead mercenary group. I am sorry that we will have to ask you to stay for a few more days. Chen Xiangxiang has nothing to give you except this body. Undoubtedly, Chen Xiangxiang did not say that it would be best if Ziohen never left. Ziohen may not know, but a woman's heart is very sensitive. A few days ago, when Ziohen had saved him from the Black Wolf gang, his heart was beating for him. Ziohen bent down and picked up the black clothes on the ground and himself, flying Chen Xiangxiang, said, "Xiangxiang, you do not have to do this at all. I have promised to help solve the hidden danger, so I will never break my promise." I, Ziohen, am sure of my promise. In reality, Chen Xiangxiang's big eyes were looking straight at Ziohen. Yes, Ziohen also looked straight at Chen Xiangxiang and shook his head in embarrassment. "Thank you." Ziohen felt a dark shadow in front of his eyes, after which he felt a soft, moist feeling on his cheek. As Chen Xiangxiang was embarrassed while wrapped in black clothes, Ziohen touched his cheek and said after a long time, "I was forced to kiss." "Chen Zilong, come out." A loud voice was heard in almost the entire area of the Chen tribe. In a moment, the entire Chen tribe was terrified. Everyone ran towards the main hall. Behind the disciples of the Chen clan, Ziohen also reached the main hall. There, an old man with a mysterious look came to the hall with 300 to 400 disciples. Each disciple had a weapon in his hand. Possibly, the old man with dark eyes was the head of this family of Yumengao. The fight had already begun, and the sword of Helai attacked the head of the Chen family, which took him 3 steps back. There was a long mark of a sword on the chest of the head of the Chen family. Blood was flowing, and his arms were tied tightly. "Have you really entered the 5-star Tuzeg area? Nonsense." Helai said angrily, "Who killed my son Chen Zilong? If you hand him over to me, I will immediately kill your entire family." Seeing Helai, the head of the Chen family shuddered and began to think, what to do? Helai has really entered the 5-star Tuzeg area. And the task is still very young. Will he be able to become Helai's opponent? This is a thought-provoking question. Ziohen had saved the Chen tribe from a severe crisis twice, and the head of the Chen family did not want Ziohen to be buried with the Chen tribe. No need to threaten. "I am the one who killed your son. He has nothing to do with it." Ziohen slowly came out of the crowd. Helai's clothes were fluttering. His intention of killing was scary, and he shouted, "You are the one who killed my son. I am the one," Ziohen said directly. "Then go to hell." Helai ran and turned his long sword straight towards Ziohen. Suryastha sword art. Helai's swordplay art was powerful, which included both attack and defense, which was difficult to find any flaw in it at first glance. Reminding the heads of the Chen family, he said, "Akari, be careful. Helai's swordplay technique is advanced, yellow rank 2 technique. As long as your swordplay art is not extraordinary, you can only escape its attack." Ziohen said proudly, "Either it is just an advanced version with yellow rank 2 technique. I can break it with just 1 punch. Will you break it with just 1 punch?" How proud Helai was. He turned his sword and attacked Ziohen. 8 heads are cut off. As soon as Helai's swordplay technique was about to attack Ziohen, Ziohen stopped him with 1 punch. "You are using a fist in front of the sword." "Are you a fool?" Helai hit Manhai Mandana. The speed of the sword did not decrease in his hand, but it became faster. He quickly attacked Ziohen as if he wanted to cut his hand. Ziohen had killed Hedong, and Helai suddenly did not want to kill Ziohen in 1 blow. No, this would be very easy for Ziohen. He wanted to kill Ziohen by torturing him slowly so that he could show his anger properly. But it was useless. The head of the Chen family sat down and he held his breath. When he had faced Helai before, he knew very well how terrible the power of that sword was. Clash. When everyone was disappointed about Ziohen's future, a sudden, powerful explosion occurred in the arena. The power was activated in the darkness hidden in the bottom of the 8 corners. A powerful energy flow broke, due to which Helai's precious sword flew away from his hand. Helai himself fell into the air and fresh blood came out of his mouth. Kulpramuk. These family members saw Helai helpless, went to him, sighed, and were completely stunned. "Kulpramuk, he is dead." These family members looked at Ziohen. All in all, Ziohen had only done it once to kill Heli. In contrast, Ziohen was not hurt at all. From his calmness, it was found that he had not even used all his strength. Or, these family members got into the arena and started looking at Ziohen. Heli's death from Ziohen's one blow had completely scared the family. Disciples, Heli was probably very angry. After his death, the disciples who came with him did not even show any intention to resist. They must have seen it as a ghost. They gave up their armor and weapons and ran away from the main hall of the Chen tribe. Ziohen saw the family running away. Seeing this, the disciple said sadly, "Head of the Chen family, I think I do not need protection in these small problems." Absolutely. The head of the Chen family had a pure glow in his eyes. He understood the principle of eliminating evil from the root. The head of the Chen family clenched his fist towards Ziohen and said, "Thank you for your great kindness. Our Chen tribe will never forget it." Where is the Chen tribe, disciple? Garage, garage, garage. Come with me to the family and clean up these cruel beasts. Garage, garage. Garage. Following the head of the Chen family, all the disciples of the Chen clan united. Even 5-year-old children picked up the kitchen knife and started following the elders. Ziohen looked towards the sky. The bright moon was hanging high and light wind was blowing. This night was going to disturb sleep for the small village human located near the monster mountain range. The morning sun colored the sky red and covered a magnificent scene in the glow of the sunset, which gave a sense of eternal peace and silence, as if the sound of the earth waking up from the sky could be heard quietly. "Disciple, are you going now?" When the head of the Chen family entered the courtyard of Ziohen, he saw Ziohen coming out from inside. "Yes. The problem of this family has been solved, and I have fulfilled my promise." Ziohen saw the unusual feeling of the head of the Chen family, as if he wanted to say something but was hesitating, and saw him from top to bottom. He said indifferently, "We were destined to meet. Take these 4 bottles of life-saving medicine. They will cure your wounds." The head of the Chen family raised his hand and took them. His heart was filled with joy. These were really good things. The diseases would get cured immediately from them. These wound-curing pills were much better than Huichun powder and Raktajama powder. The head of the Chen family was still surprised that Ziohen had passed by him. "Disciple, please wait." The head of the Chen family took a few quick steps and stopped Ziohen. "And if you want something," Ziohen gave him 4 bottles of red medicine. The red medicine had already been distributed. Is it possible that the head of the Chen family is still not satisfied and wants to snatch the red medicine from him? The head of the Chen family stopped for a moment. He was having a lot of trouble in his mind. He shrugged his shoulders as if he had taken a big decision. He took out a small, finger-sized razor from his sleeve. The razor was not ordinary. It was shining with a colorful light. It was clearly not an ordinary object. A small blue sword seemed to be sealed inside it. Ziohen's awareness of spiritual power was extraordinary. As soon as the head of the Chen family took it out, he could feel a powerful, icy, terrifying aura emanating from the inside of the razor. But it was useful. In fact, our Chen family was an extraordinary family. Our Chen family had given birth to a special force in 1 or 2 areas at one time. This Dazan ancestor achieved great success in his lifetime. Once he had frozen the entire city with his power. However, he was very arrogant and cowardly, due to which the 18 gurus followed him to the end. At that time, on the strength of his 6-star Dazan meditation, he fought against 10 5-star Dazan, 3 6-star Dazan, 4 7-star Dazan, and 1 8-star Dazan without losing. The point was that the enemies were too many. However, he forced the enemies to pay the price of brotherhood. But in the end, he himself died of exhaustion. Since then, it seems as if there is a curse on our Yumming village. No extraordinary talent has ever appeared in the family again. Drifting in the long stream of history, we have gradually reached that shameful state where today we can only live in a village. Even if our ancestors passed away from this world, they sealed their knowledge and inner vision in this Z-slip before their death. The Z-slip in my hand has one or two techniques that they had entrusted to me. It is very sad that no member of the Chain family has received this technique for 5,000 years. The disciple has become capable of understanding its secrets. O benefactor, you saved our Chain tribe from danger 3 times. Without you, perhaps our Yumming village Chain tribe would have been out of the Gama Empire. Without you, the Chain tribe of Yumming village would not have existed. We cannot give you any reward for this great favor. If the benefactor has no objection, then you can try to understand its secrets. The head of the Chain family did not actually mention that Shai Yahan had saved their Chain tribe 3 times by using a magical substance, red medicine, which was like a medicinal pill, to treat their wounds. And it was not just that he took it out. Ziohen did not even ask for money. When the head of the Chain family heard about these events, he gave up his ancestral home and once again allowed Shai Yahan to understand these 2 techniques. Shai Yahan was a little surprised. Surprisingly, his mouth was open and he pointed towards himself. It is important to know that this was Btth Mahadip. The roots were buried deep in the ancestral home. The rise of a family was due to the support of high-ranking officials. 2 techniques of agriculture. The head of the Chain family knew that the 2 techniques in his hands were so powerful that the sky could shake the earth, yet he was willing to let the person learn at once. Shai Yahan was very surprised to see this. Yes, the head of the Chain family's eyes sparkled with hope, and he said, "You are a young preacher, yet you have not only created the Btth Chiswin Yudchai Chakravat, but also obtained the power of worship above the 5 stars does. Such a talent is as rare as the wings or horns of a phoenix. You are really a remarkable talent among the talented. With the talent of the preacher, you may be able to understand these 2 techniques left by the ancestors of our Chain tribe. Or it would be foolish to use the 2 techniques when it is possible to acquire higher education." Shai Yahan was very happy, but his face remained calm and he said, "I will try it." "Thank you, head of the tribe Chain." "Sir, you are showing a little too much humility." The head of the Chain family handed over the Z-slip to Shai Yahan. "Guruji, your willpower is so powerful." As soon as Shai Yahan took the Z-slip, the system could not help but shout with joy. Hama. Shai Yahan sat down and began to feel the 2 techniques inside the Z-slip. As soon as Shai Yahan's spiritual power was absorbed in the Z-slip, a cold stream immediately entered his heart. Shai Yahan's hair and clothes were frozen. Shai Yahan was trembling with cold. It felt as if his soul was about to freeze. The head of the Chain family saw Shai Yahan holding back his spiritual power. There was a little disappointment in his eyes. The situation was exactly like Shai Yahan. It was not that there was a lack of talent in the Chain tribe, not the disciples, but they could not face this extreme cold. "Guruji, there is a part of the ancestors of the Chain tribe left on this. Until you acquire 2 links, you will not be able to resist this powerful willpower." Shai Yahan explained the system. "Oh, so if I do not want to damage this Z-slip, then I cannot acquire 2 techniques on it." "Yes, master." Shai Yahan looked at the head of the Chain family. Looking at the capacity of the head of his family, if they are given another 100 years, they may not be able to prepare the experts of the 2-link area. Thinking this, Shai Yahan touched the Z-slip with his right hand and ordered at the same time, "Take it out." "Congratulations, you touched the Z-slip and took out the coin of Ikwin Nimshwini. 2 techniques, the sword of the snow-covered pear flower." "Oh, Shai Yahan, did you misrecognize it? Is there no swordplay in this? Is there really only the swordplay of the most famous Ikwin Nimshwini?" 2 techniques, Shai Yahan said. Meanwhile, the head of the Chain family surprisingly looked at Shai Yahan. As soon as Shai Yahan's finger touched the Z-slip, he actually took out a snow-covered pear sword from the Z-slip. A small sword was floating on the tip of Shai Yahan's finger, which was surrounded by small pieces of ice and was exciting the waves of cold air. "Master, Ziohen did not misrecognize it. The 2 techniques taken out are only that of Ikwin Nimshwini, prank." "Is the Ikwin of Nimshwini?" Shai Yahan was worried for a moment. Then his eyes became unbelievably firm. He ordered without any hesitation, fusion. Perhaps the head of the Chain family once deceived him, or there may be a Ikwin of Nimshwini in reality. 2 techniques, but he will never deceive his descendants. The reason for this was that it was only the Ikwin of Nimshwini. Some unsolved mysteries can be hidden in 2 techniques. Ding dong. Congratulations, your soul has successfully fused with 2 techniques, and you have acquired the snow-treading plum blossom sword art, Kaushal. Congratulations, Upkari, you have acquired mastery in these 2 techniques. Our ancestors' legacy has finally found a successor. The head of the Chain family put his fist towards Shayahan and bowed. However, a little disappointment was clearly visible in his eyes. The head of the Chain family, Ziohan, now wasted, handed the Z-slip over to the head of the Chain family and asked, I am surprised. What are your plans for the future of the Chain family? Does the benefactor have any suggestions? Lead the entire Chain tribe and give them the oath of loyalty to the Shayahan family of our Uttan city. Shayahan said with disappointment. The Shayahan family of Uttan city? Absolutely right. In this world, the weak have to depend on the powerful to stay alive. Otherwise, sooner or later, they will take on other roles instead. Yesterday it was only this family. Tomorrow it can be the Yang family or the Liu family. It is necessary to depend on the powerful to live a better life. Ziohan said with disappointment. Oh, the head of the Chain family looked at Shayahan with surprise. He was clearly not old yet. He was just a young man, yet he understood the rules of life protection. Undoubtedly, if the head of the Chain family is not ready, then my Shayahan family will not force him. Shayahan said with disappointment. The only reason for Shayahan's reconciliation or proposal was to thank the head of the Chain family. The head of the Chain family thought for a moment and said with hesitation, if I also want to take the oath of loyalty, then I am afraid that the Shayahan family will not even look at me. You don't have to worry about it. Ziohan entered the room, wrote a letter and gave it to the head of the Chain family. He took it to the Ziohan family and met the 3rd elder. When they see it, they will accept your loyalty. The 3rd head of the Shayahan family, the head of the Chain family, looked at Shayahan. After looking at the letter, he said with surprise, Are you really Shayahan? Some time ago, the head of the Chain family heard that the Shayahan family has given birth to such a disciple who is full of bravery and extraordinary talent. The head of the Chain family had never imagined that such a talented disciple would stand right in front of him. Ziohan shook his head and then said with disappointment, head of the Chain family, we will meet again in the Ziohan family. As the evening began, Ziohan got on his horse and entered a small town closest to the Monster Mountain Range. The name of this town was Kingshan Town. Due to the proximity of the Monster Mountain Range, the demon-like creatures of Nimskar were often seen outside the town, so it was also called the demon-like town. In this small town, most of the residents were soldiers who lived on the strength of the sword. Walking on the main road made of blue stones, the soldiers of the Chain could be seen holding each other's hands and openly discussing their love affairs of the previous day. The most dangerous demon-like creatures among them could also be heard about their useful information. Does the little fairy doctor live here? I have come here about a year ago. I am surprised that will I be able to meet the little fairy doctor. According to the story, Ziohan met the little fairy doctor who had a poison body in Kailash. This happened a year later. The little fairy doctor often treated the soldiers of the Chain, and she had a special reputation in the world of the soldiers of the Chain. After asking a soldier of the Chain, Ziohan reached a medicine shop. The medicine shop was very large, and there were expensive stones on the walls. Outside, the visibility was gradually decreasing, but there was light like daylight inside the shop. Due to its convenient situation, the business of the medicine shop was going very well. When Ziohan entered the medicine shop, no help was available to welcome him. The purpose of this journey was the little fairy doctor. A year later, the little fairy doctor came for training and met Shayayan. They separated after finding the treasure in the cave. Shayayan set out towards the Tague and the desert on the border of the Gama Empire towards the east. The little fairy doctor set out towards the Chayam Empire in the western part of the Gama Empire towards the west. The little fairy doctor was in this shop, but Shayahan started digging inside the shop. At first, I thought that I could gain experience by talking to any officer of Sheiyan, but it seems that there is no hope for this. A year later, Ziohan came to Baniao's shop, and he bought Black Lotus essence at a very cheap price, which is the necessary medicine to make the Black Lotus pill. Since this was a year ago, Ziohan could not guarantee whether the necessary medicine to purify the Black Lotus pill, Black Lotus essence, was already present here or not. As soon as Ziohan was about to go into despair, his eyes stopped at one corner of a transparent counter. His eyes widened and he pretended to walk carelessly towards the counter and started looking at a light yellow object kept inside again. Ahem, please take me out to sea. Press your inner eyes, please. As he was walking, Ziohan smiled at a helper who the helper, called by Sheiyan, looked at Sheiyan. He was wearing a long green robe. He was very young and he was not looking too rich. The helper nodded a little. Then he looked at the object to which Sheiyan was pointing. Seeing that it was only a yellow lotus seed, his eyes became a little dizzy. He took it out, threw it in front of Sheiyan and said indiscriminately, "Yellow lotus seed, medicinal material of the Black Lotus, 100 gold coins. Shao, do you believe that this is Black Lotus essence?" Sheiyan rubbed it lightly with his nails. After rubbing the yellow skin, a light red color was seen if it is brought near the nose and smelled. Then is this really blood lotus essence? Is this the same blood lotus essence that Zioang will get a year later by chance? Ziohan asked uncertainly. Guruji, is the blood lotus seed different from the yellow lotus seed? Or is it a very rare and advanced medicinal material? This type of medicinal material usually grows with the yellow lotus seed. Its quantity is very limited. According to Zioang's guess, Zioang has a 80% chance of getting this medicinal material a year later. Oh, 80% chance. Yellow lotus essence and blood lotus essence look almost the same. It is difficult to differentiate between the two without experience. If there was no warning of the system, and there was no warning that there could be blood lotus essence here, then Ziohan would not have come to this place. Blood lotus essence is the main material for the production of blood lotus oil. To develop Zioang's burning flame skill, it is necessary to consume various fumes continuously. These fumes have destructive power and their energy is very strong. Even special elements like mithril cannot bear the constant burning of these fumes. If Zioang wants to go near various fumes and destroy them, then he will have to use something to protect his body. This will increase the success rate of destroying the fumes. And this blood lotus pill can make a miraculous energy explosion on the human body after consumption. This will have the effect of resisting the terrible heat of various fumes. Then you will get the opportunity to go near various fumes. Undoubtedly, this is only the first step. In addition to the blood lotus pill, a guardian meridian pill is also required to save meridian from damage. Master, whether this blood lotus oil is used or not, 1 year later, Zioang gets this knowledge that if you want to get other various fumes in the future, then you will have to purify the blood lotus pill as well. Otherwise, your body will not be able to bear the high temperature of various fumes. Stop using the divine ability of touching and extinguishing various fumes. Understood, Ziohan suppressed the rage in his heart. He carelessly threw 100 gold coins at the shopkeeper and slowly put the blood lotus essence in his system inventory. There was no sign of any kind of irregularity in his slow and steady pace. The treasure such as blood lotus essence was very rare. If Ziohan remembers correctly, then when Zioang came here after a year, he still got only 1 piece of blood lotus essence, and he had spent the remaining 2,300 gold coins in a foolish way. Ding dong. Congratulations. You have completed the story of Dadian, and after a year you have looted Zioang's avatar, blood lotus essence. Reward, 6,000 experience points, 1,200 voucher points. Ziohan, who had just left the shop of Waniao, stopped for a while. A hot stream flowed from the system and then settled in his dungeon. Perhaps because blood lotus essence was the main ingredient to purify the blood lotus pill, and it was an important part of extinguishing the heavenly fire by Zioang, so the accumulated experience points were very high. Ziohan's level had increased from the initial level. 7-star goes to advanced. After the journey of Waniao's shop, not only did he get the rare medicinal material, blood lotus essence, but also the story was created and a lot of experience points were acquired. Ziohen was in a very good mood. Hey, look quickly, little fairy doctor. Wow, this is the same little fairy doctor you were talking about. Wow, this form is perfect, and his waist is very thin. I want to touch it. Are you trying to die? There is a lot of respect for the little fairy doctor among the soldiers of the little fairy doctor has treated many soldiers of the house, and he has saved their lives. If you dared to insult the little fairy doctor like this, then you may not even know how your death happened. It seems that the person was new in that area. He started speaking without thinking. He looked around cautiously and immediately felt the hostile eyes of the hay. That man pretended to be unaware of his cleverness, shrugged his head and laughed foolishly, saying, I was just talking. This is not a serious matter. It is not a serious matter at all. Hey, hey! Ziohen followed the voice, and in reality he saw a woman coming towards him wearing a light white dress, surrounded by a crowd of people. The beauty of that woman could not be called extraordinary, but it was definitely a weak beauty. There was always a smile on her face and a light smile on her face, and in her light white dress, she also had a fresh energy, as if she had appeared in some divine angelic world. This attractive energy immediately increased her attraction. In the end, Ziohen's eyes fell on that woman's slender waist, which was strained from her green belt, and a glimpse of praise was seen in her eyes. Is this the little fairy doctor? She is really very beautiful. In Dadian, Zio Junior was the most attractive, who had beauty in truthfulness and mystery. Yafi was the most attractive. With her friendly behavior, she knew exactly what the revelation was. It was said that Zioyu's legs were the longest, but Ziohen had not seen her long, thin legs yet. And the little fairy doctor before her was the woman with the thinnest waist in the world. Master, I am the little fairy doctor. Will you not greet me? Sistam Zioyu shouted and said. Maybe not, Ziohen stopped. He did not do anything in return and repeated the same mistake that he did in front of Yao Lao. In front of Yao Lao, Ziohen unbelievably displayed a sense of progress. He knew everything about Yao Lao. That is why Ziohen's attempt to make him on his side was unsuccessful. Sometimes, when a person knows so much about each other, even more than he knows about himself, then either he can create fear in their hearts and can also give birth to self-defense or hostility. This was the main reason why Ziohen was unsuccessful in defeating Yao Lao in the last mountainous area of the Zio family. If Ziohen had adopted a circular vision from the beginning, then maybe he could have actually won Yao Lao. Now the same thing applies to the little fairy doctor. The little fairy doctor was currently working as a doctor in the shop of Wan Yao, and it seemed that he was already aware of his poisoned body. Physical structure. If Ziohen had interfered in the haste, then there was a 80–90% chance of an incident like Yao Lao. The little fairy doctor's hostility can be instigated in reverse. It was not what Ziohen wanted. When Ziohen system Zioyu was talking like this, by then the little fairy doctor had passed through the entrance door, and her eyes were spinning on Ziohen's face without stopping. There was a light breeze in the air. The smell of the mind was proof that a talented person had just passed by him. Passing through the crowd, Ziohen found a shed on the road, and he checked in there. After bathing, he lay on the bed and drowned in sleep due to the tiredness of the whole day's journey. The night passed peacefully with the sweet song of the cool breeze. The next day, when the first rays of dawn began to be seen in the eastern sky, many army men were sitting, making money and starting to practice to improve their own meditation. Ziohen fell asleep when the sun spread out of the window into the room. With Ajay Adhipati Pranali, Ziohen did not need to do foot-to-foot meditation like ordinary people. Ziohen had become used to sleeping for a long time due to staying on 2 high mountains for many months until he woke up naturally. Today I will go to meet Swargi Vishkanya, who will later be from the Chayan Empire. Ziohen got up, took a bath, and after eating simple food, he called a shopkeeper and asked for a brush, pencil, and a cloth to write from him. Then he took out a black bag and a cat-faced mask from his system space. After doing all this, Ziohan held the upside-down banner prepared, which was named Chuang Fan. On the banner, words such as powerful, dragon, and phoenix were written on which it was written, knowing your fate is to be worried. Then he came out of the shed. In yesterday's comparison, today Ziohan's special attractive attire attracted the intense curiosity of the army men. On the other hand, there was no astrologer who could predict the future. Ask about money, money, money. I can know the move of the stars. Ziohan said this, stammering, and quietly moved forward on the road. Sir, what are you doing? Seeing such a strange attire, a Jijiasu army man went ahead and asked Ziohan. Prediction, a crack from behind the mask, a low voice came. Prediction, can the fate be calculated? The army man saw Ziohan with 3 parts surprise and 7 parts curiosity. In reality, the vast area of gold, the scratching of stars, all of these can be found. Forget about our clever humans. How much is the tax? When Ziohan spoke so seriously, the army man became interested. If I am wrong, there will be no tax. Hearing this, the army man laughed and said, Okay, so tell me what will be my tax. Forgive me, I only tell the future of those people whose fate is determined. Ziohan ignored the army man holding the Udvatar banner and kept moving. In the morning. There was a lot of noise in the city. Among them, the army men's screams were especially more. Who were all recruiting those team members who wanted to enter the monster mountain range. The army men were usually divided into 3 types. One type of people formed their own organizations with their own laws, national laws, and other regulations. The strength of these army men was equal to that of regular troops. Their members' strength was much more than that of the Dawes region. Without mentioning other things, the 3 most influential army men of the Dawes region were the battle masters of the Dawes region. The second type of team was formed temporarily. These types of army men were usually destroyed after completing they were ignored to a great extent in the matter of trust and non-agreement. The third type of army men worked independently. The people who dared to go deep into the vastness of the vastness alone, they usually had some life-saving leaves. The army men screaming in the city were naturally of a different type. They did not have the support of any powerful army men, nor did they have many leaves to save their lives. Passing by these army men, Ziohan did not stop for a moment. His purpose was not to join the army men and enter the monster mountain range, but to go directly to the little fairy doctor, who used to live in the shop of Waniao shop, will have to go to the beast forest to collect herbs, and the little fairy doctor will also go with him. 50 seats are available. 2 stars or more than that of the Dawes battle practitioners. Hurry up and do the counting. As soon as Ziohan was about to sit at the entrance door of the Waniao shop holding his Urvata banner, a shopkeeper shouted enthusiastically and told him. This fact once again proved how amazing the attraction of the little fairy doctor was. With the scream of the assistant, there was a commotion in the entire street. All the people started hooting for those 50 seats. There was nothing surprising about this. Due to the large number of people entering the monster mountain range, some small demons naturally did not dare to bother them. This would provide an additional layer of security. In addition, the little fairy doctor was also a physician. According to his original plan, Ziohan was also going to enter the monster mountain range. Apart from the little fairy doctor, there were other officers in the monster mountain range for Zioying a year later. Now he could contact the little fairy doctor and also enter the monster mountain range. Good things were happening one after the other for Ziohan. As he was near the water, he was the first to touch the moon. Ziohan was already at the entrance door of the shop. With a slight movement, he reached in front of the assistant. There is an empty place. The assistant waved the leaflet in his hand. I heard Ziohan's deep, hoarse voice in front of the assistant. Yes. Surprisingly, the assistant looked at Ziohan. His attire was quite unusual. With a slight wave, his mysterious sense of smell touched the assistant a little. Looking at the words written on the Urdwadar banner, knowing the will of heaven. Having a deep doubt about Ziohan, he said, Great, we only need 2 stars or a doze above that. Knowing the will of heaven. Can the will of heaven be known? Where did this thug come from? Either he is going towards the large mountain range. Do you want to take advantage for free? Don't talk nonsense. Standing in the last place, some soldiers of the mountain pushed Ziohen to one side. Ziohen looked at these people. His eyes stood 2 steps away, 2 arms as thick as a tree trunk. With a thought, the light energy in his body immediately activated. The light blue light energy covered his white hand. Darar. With a sigh, in front of everyone's astonished eyes, a thin layer of snow covered the tree trunk. He fell to the ground, flying a cloud of dust. Is this worth it? Hee. The assistant got up from his astonishment and started looking at Ziohen. He had seen many kinds of light, but he had probably never seen such a wonderful light that can freeze a tree trunk in a moment with one hand. Ziohen looked at Ziohen. He smiled and said to Ziohen, "You are really worthy. The reward for this journey is 500 gold coins. Take 250, the remaining half will be given to you after bringing the team back." Okay, Ziohen shook his head lightly. He didn't care about the reward money. His goal was to meet the little fairy doctor. Apart from this, Ziohen had never entered the Demon Mountain Range. His knowledge of the Demon Mountain Range was limited to his last life memories. The Demon Mountain Range was vast. If he had gone alone in search of that cave, in which 2 techniques were hidden and also the King of Lions, the King of the King, 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 he would not have understood where to start. Did he find out about the cave or not? This was still a question mark. Some things are such that how will you find out without trying? Ziohen wanted to see if his luck is better than Ziohen. On one hand, seeing the last place taken by Ziohen, the soldiers of the surrounding area were disappointed and were dismayed. Before he left, Ziohen saw a glimpse of fear in his eyes. The power of war that Ziohen just demonstrated was such that even 5-star Dozy could not compete with him. It was the last time of Sheridridu, and in this huge mountain range it seemed that the winters were not far away. With the fast wind of Sheridridu, the yellow leaves were falling down. A large group of people were moving forward in the quiet forest. Everyone had weapons in their hands. They were not ignoring the rustle of leaves. They were ready to deal with the situation that would arise at any. All the guards assigned for this journey were at least 2-star Doze Shrini. He was more than 40 years old, and as a veteran soldier, he had a lot of experience of the war. With one look, he could understand the feelings of the other person. As the team moved forward, Ziohen was also being affected by the tense atmosphere. The harsh environment made Ziohen a little uncomfortable. Behind him was the team collecting herbs from the Baniao shop. As far as the little fairy doctor is concerned, she was naturally safe among the team collecting herbs. When Ziohen turned around and looked behind, he saw a young man talking to the little fairy doctor for a while, but the little fairy doctor smiled and he moved away. It felt as if he had rejected something. Are these people from the Wolf Head mercenary group? Ziohen saw that the young man had a Wolf Head mercenary badge on his chest. Ziohen did not forget that a year later, when Nayak Shayan came here, he became hostile to his Wolf Head mercenary group because he was hidden in the end. It seemed that Shayan had completely cleared the Wolf Head mercenary group. Isn't that so? A soldier standing next to Ziohen said with a little bitterness, "Is this a crime? Isn't this just because his father is the leader of the Wolf Head mercenary group? He almost keeps trying to flatter the little fairy doctor every other day. But will the little fairy doctor look at a scoundrel like him, who often goes to Asia?" Ziohen looked at him with his own eyes. He asked, "Little, if I destroy the Wolf Head mercenary group, will I get experience points?" "Master, destroying the Wolf Head mercenary group is considered as violating the path of Shayan's future, and for this, you will get experience points as a reward." "Oh, so I'll take some time to destroy it." Now Vasad Sitara was on the level of Unad Doze. With the help of 2 techniques and the extraordinary pure dache, he had full confidence that Vasad Sitara can also fight Doze. Not only that, with the power of the alien flame, Ziohen now had the courage to fight a battle master. "Be careful, the enemy is attacking." With a loud voice, the whole team immediately came into action. The 4 first-class demon creatures were seen circling around a large tree. They spread their snake-like body and attacked the soldiers of the 4 armies secretly like lightning. These demon creatures were called Lalbarphila Sob, who had the qualities of snow, and their venom was snow. Once attacked, the cold venom spread throughout the body, which would die half a day later. Lalbarphila Sob, Ziohen was a little surprised. His heart was filled with joy. All the dandy creatures in the Demon Mountain range had their own resting areas. If he remembered correctly, the place where the Do Technique Nanhai doctor searched was the same area where these Lalbarphil Sob often used to come. Ziohen guessed that there would definitely be a cave within a 10-mile radius in which Do Technique would be hidden. The 4 first-class rare ice snakes were just a small fight for the Vishal team. After the attack, the soldiers of the experienced army advanced quickly and immediately killed these 4 brave rare ice snakes. As far as the soldiers of those 4 armies are concerned, who were attacked by touching them, they were immediately sent back for treatment by the little fairy doctor. The Demon Mountain range is really full of dangers. Ziohen had now some idea of the terror of the Demon Mountain range. They had just walked a few hundred meters that they were attacked. Oh, as soon as the whole team took a breath of relief, a flock of birds flew from above. It seemed that they were more than one species of birds. Ziohen saw with his own eyes that 2 birds, which are usually enemies of each other, were now flying together in the sky. Seeing such an unusual incident in the sky, the whole team fell into the clouds of seeing such an unusual incident. Everyone's face turned yellow out of fear. Like a fear epidemic, it spread quickly throughout the team. Get together again quickly, quickly, quickly. Keep your shields on the outside. Get ready for a fierce attack. The archers are responsible for killing scattered demons. Not only the soldiers of the mountain, but also the young commander of the group of soldiers of the wolves at the back were also issuing orders with what is happening. Among the people present there, Ziohen, who was entering the monster mountain range for the first time, was most surprised by the sudden change that took place in the battlefield. Swish, swish, swish. About 20 out of 50 soldiers were not in a condition to fight. He looked at the little fairy doctor. Though the wolf had mercenary group with an army of equal strength, archers and archers, but under the attack of the rhinoceros beasts, the members of the mercenary group were constantly losing their lives. We can't save them now. As soon as Ziohen realized the danger, the first experienced soldier jumped on the 20-meter high tree nearby. Oh, Ziohen quietly licked his tongue. The soldiers of the old army saw the soldier of that army surprisingly, looked at each other, and felt as if there was some vitality in their eyes. After that, they climbed on the big trees near the pass, exhibiting their cunning. It's not good. These soldiers of the old army were very cunning. They realized that the soldiers of the old army would not be able to face the attack of powerful rhinoceros beasts like Jende, so they chose the most effective way to save their lives. It's wrong. Ziohen hesitated. It was a team of soldiers of the old army. In the moments of life and death, there was no such thing as faith or silence. After losing the soldiers of the old army on the pass, the whole team was immediately dispersed by the rhinoceros beasts like Jende. Reduce the protection circle. Protect the young lord. In a critical situation, the trained and skilled archers of the Wolf Head mercenary group left the team collecting herbs. These archers protected the young lord of the Wolf Head mercenary group. With this, the herbs were collected.